And, there continues to be a whole lot of concern about how Trump is going to treat the press, treat the Fourth Estate, whether he's going to take a normal, traditional approach or a more authoritarian approach toward the journalists in the U.S. So last night, the Committee to Protect Journalists had its annual fundraiser here in New York City. Normally, this event is all about repressive regimes in places like Iran, about journalists who are in danger in places like Syria. But this year, the dinner had a real focus on American press freedom as well. Our own Christian Amanpour saying journalism has an existential crisis in the U.S. right now. CNN President Jeff Zucker said CNN will hold the new administration's feet to the fire. And that was notable because Zucker and a number of other TV executives were at this Monday meeting between Trump and the television networks. This was an off-the-record meeting, but Zucker was free to describe his side of the conversations. And he said that it was made clear to Trump and to Trump's aides that journalists do expect the basic traditions of a free press to be upheld for the next 4 years. That means, for example, a press pool that travels with the president at all times, a small group of journalists that track his movements. So we will see in the weeks to come how much of that Trump implements and how much he doesn't.
Yeah, and I suspect we might have a bit of a frenemies here with the media, his relationship with the media. But is he ready from that transcript, from that interview in New York Times, to continue to be scrutinized? Can he take this?
It was notable that Trump spent more than an hour taking questions from the New York Times. I spoke with one of the editors there, Carolyn Ryan, who said this is a good sign. It's a good sign that he did this, talked on the record, and did not shrink when asked some tough questions. At the end of the interview, the head of the New York Times, the president, Mark Thompson, said, okay, what about the First Amendment? Will you be committed to the First Amendment? Trump's answer was vague. He said, I think you'll be happy. I think you'll be happy. I think you're going to be okay. Those are just words. Those are just words. They might be helpful words, but what's going to matter a lot more are actions. And that's the phase we're moving into now, isn't it? Especially after Thanksgiving, as we get closer to the transition and to the inauguration, we're going to start seeing Trump taking actions and not just making promises.
Yeah, and the reality is, isn't it, that 2 weeks since that election, he still hasn't given a press
conference
of sorts, exact press conference, and that I think many people are scratching their heads over. Brian Stelter, as always, great to see you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Now, the first major health check of the UK economy in the wake of the Brexit vote. We will bring you the details from the autumn statement. Nina Santos, that's coming up next.
Planet Earth.